Large companies sometimes have to take different steps than their competitors to attract customers' attention. The world-famous Coca-Cola Company also took this different step through its attractive advertising campaign. The Coca-Cola Company started this in Australia in 2011. So in order to make their products more attractive to consumers, Coca-Cola had inscribed the names of 150 famous people in Australia on their bottles. After the success of this marketing campaign in Australia, the same method began to be applied in the United States of America and several other countries. As a result, more and more people in the world began to buy Coca-Cola bottles with their names written on them, and even to place orders for nicknames and new names to be written on the bottles. Coca-Cola named this campaign Share a Coca-Cola and emphasized that the main goal of the campaign is to explain the importance of people sharing their happy moments with each other. In 2016, a new campaign, Share a Coca-Cola and a Song, was created. Here, various musical lyrics were written on Coca-Cola bottles, which caused great interest among consumers. As a result, through this advertising campaign, Coca-Cola managed to attract the attention of millions of people along with high sales. What is the main role of advertising campaigns in business? What distinguishes such campaigns from other advertising strategies? An advertising campaign is a marketing method specially designed and created to achieve a certain goal. The main goal of such campaigns is not always to increase sales and earn more income. In many cases, the main goal of advertising is simply to create a memorable impression. For example, let's talk about Google, one of the platforms that most people in the world know and use in their daily life, work, or study. Many of you probably think that a prestigious and well-known company like Google does not need advertising. But this isn't so. Although there's a lot of demand for Google, in 2009 the company's year-end search was launched by Google. In this advertising campaign, the important changes that took place in the world for a year were reflected in how to search on Google and video images. Since this advertising campaign was successful and reached millions of viewers, the same type of videos were created in the following years. You can watch the video made by Google in 2017 as a continuation of the same advertising campaign through the link below this video. Some people think that any simple advertisement can be considered an advertising campaign, but this is not so. An advertising campaign should be a pre-planned and carefully selected job. For example, let's talk about Apple's Get a Mac company. Starting from 2005, there was a serious decrease in the sales of Apple. With that, the company realized it was time to create a new advertising campaign. In the Get a Mac advertising campaign, Apple used a different method. So this ad traditionally did not talk about the features and benefits of Apple. Instead, it talked about how Apple's Mac computers are more resistant to viruses than other computers. The ad featured Mac computers in the form of a human and other computers in the form of another human. When the ad started, one of the computers said, "Hello, I'm a Mac," and the other said, "Hello, I'm a PC." Later on, the ad showed that the computer self-proclaimed as a Mac was virus-resistant, but the other personal computer could easily be infected by viruses. Thus, this strategy was able to arouse more interest in people by presenting computers in human form. For those who want to watch this advertising campaign, we'll place a link to that video in the notes of our video. As you can see, an advertising campaign is not always an advertisement created just to introduce the product to people. In addition, advertising campaigns have many additional advantages. First, as a result of the advertising campaign, your brand will be recognized as well as noticeable. That is, even if people have known your product for years, as a result of an effective advertising campaign, they will look at the product from a different perspective. For example, in 2019, let's talk about the advertising campaign, Is Pepsi OK?, developed by Pepsi. The participation of celebrities such as Cardi B, Lil Jon, and Steve Carell in this company made the advertisement effective and reached millions of viewers. This advertising campaign cost Pepsi more than $5 million. However, the ad was liked and shared by viewers, which earned the company a large number of customers. As a result, the income was several times higher than the $5 million spent on advertising. You can watch that advertising campaign from the link below this video. But what are the secrets of creating an effective advertising campaign? What should be done so that the advertising campaign we create can attract the attention of viewers? For this, before creating an advertising campaign, it's necessary to follow several rules. The first rule is that before creating a campaign, the company must set one or more goals for the campaign. For example, if the advertising campaign is a video, then reaching 100,000 viewers or doubling sales can be examples of such goals. If the company does not set a goal, it will be very difficult to determine whether the results of the campaign it creates are favorable. The second rule of creating an effective advertising campaign is to determine the target audience to which the advertisement will be addressed. Because if the company does not know its target audience, then it will be difficult to find out what they want and what will satisfy them. For example, if the target group is children between 7 and 16 years old, but the advertising campaign is designed for people between 16 and 20 years old, then the probability of the effectiveness of that campaign decreases. Finally, the third rule is to present the campaign to the audience after it's ready. Here, the important thing is to choose the right and suitable platform to display the ad. For example, if the campaign is designed for business people, then it's more appropriate to communicate it to the audience through email or platforms such as LinkedIn. Finally, I'd like to ask you, what are the effective advertising campaigns you know? If you can find the link of those advertising campaigns, don't forget to share it with us in the comments.